we will be discussing. So, ito ang topic for week 8. So, we will be discussing on our week 8 the internet user segments. So, we have to understand the customer behavior online through user segmentation. So, first, let us discuss kung unsa ning user segmentation.
Talking about the user segmentation framework. The first step towards starting the user research process is defining the user segments, which you will be targeting. But let's first understand what is a user segment. A user segment is a group of users with shared characteristics that form a part of a product's existing customer base or could be a part of a potential customer base. Segmentation helps an organization or brand decide which set of users should they target within the whole universe of people available to them. The user segmentation framework is widely used to define existing and potential segments based on four main parameters: demographics, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Let's look at each one of these in detail. Demographics. These are statistical profiles of the population of a place that forms the basis of segmentation and user profiling. Demographics include age, education level, socioeconomic profile, and gender. For example, a very simple form of segmentation is to divide your users as per age groups. Facebook started off by targeting college students between the age of 18 and 22. However, as it grew in popularity, other age groups such as 22 to 28, 28 to 35, and 35 to 50 years old also became target segments. Now let's move on to geography. User segments are also defined based on geographies, as the users within different geographies display different characteristics. Geographical segmentation could be done on the basis of urban, semi-urban, and rural or metros, Tier 1, Tier 2 classifications. Think of news apps which caters to an English-speaking audience in metros, but vernacular audiences in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Now let's talk about psychographics. The personal attributes and characteristics of a user that make up his psychological framework and mental model are known as psychographics. Psychographic profiling plays an important role in the UX design process. Psychographics helps us define a segment based not only on statistical and factual data, but also on individual personality types of people. For example, a 25-year-old living in Mumbai and is a first-time job holder is carefree, financially unaware, and has not yet started thinking about his future financial safety. This segment of financially unaware young millennials is a segment for a bank which wants to launch financial advisory services. Now let's talk about buying behavior. This represents the behavioral patterns that a user exhibits towards buying a particular product or service. Buying behavior could be of many types and generally depends on the type of product being bought. For example, some people do grocery shopping with a list and some without. Some do it on monthly basis, while some may do it on an ad hoc need basis. Some may always buy the same brand, while some people regularly switch brands. Some people may prefer to get a subscription of monthly essentials, while some don't. At the end, the segmentation framework helps us define those meaningful groups of users that we want to target for our products and services. So this was all about user segmentation framework.
So class, the user segmentation is the practice of bucketing users into group based on common characteristics like sa region ba, sa ilang location, sa ilahang edad, sa device na ilahang gamit, or even behavior. So class, segmentation allows for better targeting based on user traits or even sa ilahang behaviors so that each segment can be treated with a more customer-centric na approach. So it is what companies like, for example, the Fiverr, do to understand users based on their specific na behavior. And then, next is the 5 ways of doing segmentation. But before that, let me um, let me outline the customer behavior online, kung paano siya ni-evolve from the old days to the present day. So we will understand more kung sa ang history sa ato ang kuan sa customer behavior online. So class, in the olden days manggod, before pa na-create ang internet, businesses used to take considerable na mga efforts para ma-understand each individual customer. So often though, this was at a subconscious level siya nga part no sa pagbi-business. Sales staff did it without realizing na nakabuhat na dahil sila og effort on considering kung unsa nang ma-fit sila ang customer. So for instance, they would ask questions, so they would get to know the customer and they would respond to nonverbal feedback from the people in their shop or even sila ang office. Indeed, good salespeople went out of their way para maintindihan ang isa ka individual customer. But nowadays, Manggod, the whole world of online business has largely eliminated this subconscious. So, class, in human analysis and even understanding of the people nga willing nga mo baligya, no? Instead of working out what each customer really wants from them, many businesses simply dump every possible na product or even solution on a website and then let the hapless customers sort it out for themselves. Back in the olden days, Manggod, that would be like giving your customers a pile of bits of paper, no? With detailed nga mga printed ads on it, so that they will see the every product and services in what inyong gina-offer and then simply say to the people nga sort it out sa imong kaugalingon or ikaw na bahala na mangita ka lang dara sa libo-libo nga ads na akong gihatan sa mga nga paper base. So class, businesses never did that in the olden days. They pre-sorted all the information nga needed sila ang customers kung unsa kailangan mismo sa customer mao to ang exactly na ihatag nila sa ilahang customer. So mao na siya. So very important dyan kayo ang customer service in the olden days. Entertain dyan dito ka sila mga customers. So plus, the question is, how did that happen? So class, sales staff spend time understanding each individual customer. So getting to know their needs and finding out the specific things they were interested in. So how can you understand the behavior of your online customers? So you have to get this natay quote and quote na you have to get to the minds of your customer, no, inside their head. So just like you did in the olden days, so para better understand nato kung unsa tong mga things nga ginabuhat nila sa olden days, no, para ma-entertain nila ang customer o pangutanan nila ang customer behavior o kung saan ilahang approach sa inyong products and services at the olden days. So here are the 5 ways of doing the segmentation in the olden days. So first is that we have to speak to our customers. So it is all too tempting to use online forms, no? Even emails and comments to get feedback from our customers online. But these methods, Manggo, do not really let you get a far inside their thinking as a conversation book too. Kaya di ba, yung face-to-face mo yung face-to-face mo maka-istorya ang imong customer, lahi dyan ang impact niya than waiting for their comment kung saan ilang feedback with the product or service na mo provide sa ila ha. Makitaan man din yung sa eyes sa inyong customer o kung sa atin or delay. So, plus, talking to people, even in a wholly online business, is helpful. So, as anyone who has used focus group before will know, They do not give you the whole picture because in reality, they are far from focused, have potential ng mga biases in not fully representative, but they do help shape your thinking. So, plus, speaking to customers alerts you to the way your customer behave and even provides a stimulus for thinking about your business. So, you cannot easily get such thought-provoking information from metrics and analytics type lang na approach. So, only talking to people can do this type of process. Then we also have the measure interaction. So people do not always use your web pages in predictable ways and often they do not also travel around your web pages na in the ways you envisage na kuan nga for sure always na siya i-visit sa akong mga kuan clients, sa akong mga customers. So dili jud siya nga ka 100% na always should sila mo-visit or mag-check or even mahatag sila feedback sa mga products. So, you need to understand how your visitors use your web pages and so you need to track their eye and mouse movements that reflect this. So, if you can afford it, eye tracking studies are a help. But a more practical and cost-effective way is to generate mga heat maps showing page by page activity on your website. Then we also have the creative alternative behavior pathways. So class, instead of creating a web page that provides just information about your products or services with no further action required, we have to ensure that your pages have multiple action facilities. Instead, instead of instead of one call to action on a page, dapat you have two. Okay? Like leading to distinct and obviously different outcomes. So, pwede natin ibutang buy now kind of action while another may lead to a more information action. So, different behavior pathways will alert you to the kind of customers na gusto nyo i-attract. So, for instance, you want instant outcomes or those who are more cautious na individuals. Then we also have the use split testing. So pictures, headlines, and even the text on a page can appeal to different kinds of customers in different ways. So we have this split testing. So the images or the headlines, for instances, can let you know what kind of people are using your website. So some people, for instances, prefer empathy in the headlines whereas others have a more analytical approach para sa ilang pagpalit and prefer your page headings to be more intellectual in approach. And lastly, we have the analyze data. So your web hosting account and your analytics service produce between them a vast amount of data about your website visitors. So class, looking at it to see how many people nag-visit sa inyong website is worth this and even needing this. So inside the vast amount of data, this is a detailed information on how we will, on how your website visitors use your site. So we have to do the mining, the data mining. So that mining that data gives you a clue as to what they are looking for and how they go about finding it. So in short class, understanding our customer behavior online is a combination siya of gathering and even analyzing data and even sa pag-istorya sa mga tao. So goodness me, that is what people did in the olden days. So bring them back to your website and you will improve your sales. Then we have ways to segment your target audience for effective e-commerce personalization. So class, as defined by Smart Insights, segmentation shows approaches to grouping prospects and customers to deliver more relevant communication and offers. So the result is to give better response rates to these communications. So in the marketing arena class, as we can see diri as a picture sa picture na ako ang provide, um, this is how we can personalize our customer segments by using like the weather and season, city and location, current and past browsing, current and past searches, purchase behavior, cart contents, age and gender, time habits, likes and dislikes, email campaigns, AdWords campaigns, and even visitors device. So, class, in the marketing arena, personalization is a term often misused for segmentation. So, kaning personalization and segmentation kay different jud ni sila in aspect of in terms of e-commerce. So, while both valuable sila nga tools for marketers, um, there are things na naghanded kayo sila on uh, differentiate jud mo sila to each other. So now, let us discuss the personalization versus segmentation debate. So class, ang segmentation manggod again is a grouping, it is the term of grouping the customers together according to identifiable na characteristics. So this is often naga naga-focus din siya on the demographic characteristic katong same sa ko ang i-discuss kaganiya and our early definitions na we already talk about the demographic of the segmentation, the age, the geography, the gender, the favorite brand or AOV ba or even ang culture. Then this personalization set is the optimizing of experiences and messages to individuals themselves, not the group na ilahang i-belong. So, individual. So, ang segmentation kay ginag-group nimo siya while sa personalization kay individual lang. So, plus, the introduction of artificial intelligence or the AI and even ang mga machine learning algorithms means it is how possible na ma-predict na to ang website visitors like of products, mga categories and brands based sa ilahang similar users behavior. So sa behavioral data nato from every single website visitor includes mga views, mga purchases, mga searches, and even time of day or amount na ilahang na spend on buying the product or service, makuha sad na to ang ilahang data. So this data is then analyzed and relationships are then identified between different customer segments and the products that businesses sell online. So we have the different key benefits to segmentation. First is that um, there are 5 key benefits to having a good customer segmentation when looking to improve your customers' online experience through personalization. So we have to better match our product or service offering to our customer segment needs, creating tailor-made marketing initiatives. Then improve our product or service offered so that businesses can use market segmentation para ma-identify what does work, but more importantly, what doesn't work and alter it accordingly. Then we also have that we have to enable businesses to retain more customer by offering products that appeal to where customers are in their stage of life and also allow business to grow by upselling on customers who have responded to introductory offers and also enhance business profits by targeting customers who have a propensity to have more disposable income by raising their average selling price. So class, the question is, so where to start with customer segmentation? So class, with this question, e-commerce personalization depends on the data sources your solution can access and personalize against. So again, with this, there are many types of data and even segmentation options now available in analytics and personalization na pwede na to ma-customize o gamit. So, on the next page, we will be discussing the 14 of the most relevant segmentation options that we can use or that can be used for personalization. So some of which use anonymous data but others which use existing na mga profile information. So, let us proceed sa 14 ways to segment our audiences. So, first is that we have segmentation by referrer or traffic sources. So, this means, class, where the place where your visitor was prior to landing on your website. So an AI-based personalization system can learn which offers work best for visitors from different sites, whether referral sites ba or social media or even direct or from paid links advertisements. Then we also have the visitor types. Ang example nga ni, for example, new visitors or returning visitors can be identified in analytics and in personalization systems. So, this is a commonly used na mga technique for personalization. So, for example, offering new visitors a discount on first purchase nila or creating welcoming rewards for repeat purchasers. Then we also have the customer information. So customer segments can be either profile-based or behavior-based. So sa behavior-based segment class, the behavior-based segments are based on, for example, what users have searched for on current and previous visit or purchase behavior, while sa profile-based segments guide based on what kind of customers they are to the business. Then we also have the site engagement duration or time. So example of these are browsing time or number of page view. Then we also have the content or product view. So this is the most common segmentation technique used in retail personalization based on product categories or individual products view. Then we also have the landing page. So this is a slightly different form of content-based segmentation based on where the visitor first arrived on the site, which suggests their initial nga intent. Then we also have the event or interaction. So common interactions on an e-commerce sites are people who click on add to basket cart or interact with the product information. Then we also have the platform and device. As with analytics, a personalization system will usually be able to recognize browser, mga screen resolution, and even device type na ilang ginagamit smartphone ba, tablet ba, or larger screen na mga formats. Then we also have the location such as country, region, or even city, weather and season on that location. Then third-party data sources using email addresses, mga pangalan, and other identifiers, you may be able to enrich customer data about demographics using data from external na mga resources. Then favorites and likes. Based on previous na ilahang purchases, segment your customers based on their likes and what their tag favorites are. Then we also have the average order value. So if a customer's purchases have exceeded a certain value, then you can cross-sell in other products of similar value which may be of interest to either warrant a discount offer. Then we also have the current cart profile. So if a visitor has put products into their cart, you can promote products that have similar product profiles, whether that be color ba, sa material ba, sa theme ba, or even sa iyahang size. Then lastly is the account type. So this is more relevant for B2B customers. So this can be segmenting customers based sa ilahang pricing tier or the product range that they have made available para sa ilaha. So class, mao lang ni siya nga to ang topic for our week 8. So again, we already have discussed the week 8 titled Internet User Segments with learning outcome of understanding the customer behavior online through user segmentation. And if you have questions, clarifications sa ato ang topic, please do not hesitate to ask me questions through GC Manato sa messengers. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.